The forge has gone quiet, the bellows blow no more. The forge has gone quiet, the smiths have gone home. Only fading embers remain, and my hearth grows cold. One kiss from you to rekindle it all.
Okay, so welcome back to Queen of Embers, episodes 15 and 16. I'm your Game Master, Daniel Fox. We're joined by the players, the cult, the playtesters, the people who made Embers and Zweihänder. Super awesome, and now we're working on a new book soon. But for now, we're doing Queen of Embers, a full-length campaign set in my own campaign world, full-length adventure set in my own campaign world, anticipated coming out to about 250, 300 pages. Pretty big, about twice the size of Curse of Strahd for those who are D&D fans. But we're moving along. We anticipate releasing it in 2020. We're still pretty early in the story, although some interesting things have certainly happened in the past couple sessions. So, real quick note, Kay is out tonight, who plays Elisa Marius, the provocateur, but she will be back next week. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We've got initiative on the board already. Let's do a kind of a roundup from what happened last session. Who wants to do the update? I think Tim did it last time.
I thought Lisa read her thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
she did. That's right. She did.
Is it my turn?
Sorry, did I throw you under the bus there? Or the wagon?
Okay, let me think about it. It's 2 weeks, right? No, it was just
It's
1
been
week.
1 week since you looked at me.
So, where we last left off.
Yeah, give me a hint.
We had
here.
made a decision about where we wanted to go last time, and we decided to follow
Oh yeah, the trail.
a trail of pamphlets.
And
that's right.
Walter, you were there for that, right?
Yeah, that was the end of session 12.
12 or 13, yeah, that's right.
Or 13,
Cool.
rather.
So the boss man, Terwin, makes a decision against pretty much everybody besides, I think.
Not me.
Harper. Harper wanted to go.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Warren
just
went-
her. Basically,
Warren
just the...
We just totally went
Just
against
internal affairs.
Just internal affairs.
Just I.
Basically, the
Just
reason...
disregard internal affairs. They're fine.
So we decided to go ahead and just follow anyway because we really have no leads at this point what's going on. So we follow the pamphlets. We followed them back to this burnt out or dilapidated, more probably is the better way to describe it, old foundry. So when we go inside to the foundry, we get to see the burnt fellow finally. His burntness or
What's his name?
what are they
Soup
calling
stain prophet?
That's right.
Soup
The
stain.
prophet.
Soup,
Prophet.
like soup that you eat?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Soot.
soot. Like
Soot stain. It is.
Soot stain?
Soot
Okay,
stain.
so it's not
I
soup
heard
stain.
soup.
No soup. No soup.
Like,
for you,
I,
soup.
I wasn't sure which one it was. It was
Well, I thought
soup.
since he had the bandages, he was eating soup through. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone had soup. He was serving soup, so it made
Right,
sense.
exactly.
Like,
He was
I'm
serving
with
soup
you.
as well. Okay.
So it is soup, like soup from
Did
a
you
fire.
really think it was the
Soup?
soup?
Yes,
stain?
I know. Yes.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I completely got the whole...
He's got like soup all over his beard.
He's all burnt, guys.
Yeah.
From the hot soup.
He had a food jacket.
So we found Pizza the Hut for these guys. I
Yeah.
mean, we're taking the space ball
So,
route here
what
on
do
the
we
game.
what do we know about the prophet so far? Previous to this,
Previous to this, we knew that basically we'd heard basically 2 different speeches by his provocateur or his rabble rouser, and we'd gotten the pamphlets, but we also had heard from Black, the leader of the Night Soil Collective. He basically said, you need to listen to this man. He's very, very persuasive. I think it was the exact words he used.
what's the name of the group that follows the prophet?
13.
The 13.
That's right.
So we infiltrate the 13 for myself and Warren. We do a very poor job of infiltrating. For everybody else, I think they succeeded extremely well. And he gives a very moving speech for us that did not feel it was very moving. We had lasting effects, and for those that were negative, and for those that did feel it was moving, had positive effects. So it seems, as Warren would use the words, magical. He's got magic. He's got magic. So that's kind of the feeling that's around the table. You know, I just think it was because I don't believe in the superstition that these guys do. Or that's what I'm telling myself. Basically, we were just in a room full of people who could slaughter us. Literally, there was 30 of them with clubs and knives and staves, whatever they had, but they could have slaughtered us easily. So that was my reason to say that I was feeling anxious.
Yeah.
So then we follow the prophet. Well, actually, he first calls the clubs, basically. He's like, I'm calling the clubs. We're going and we're taking our folks back. And we're like, well, what the hell are they talking about? But he's talking about the saltpetermen. And I guess, supposedly, the saltpetermen have taken some of their people hostage. So the plan...
We didn't really ask questions, yeah.
We didn't ask questions. I took the route, and I took the route of using these people to gain access.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Terwin and everybody else at the table was kind of like, well, yeah, we're going to use them to get inside, and we're going to figure out what's going on.
Because we really didn't have a bone to pick in this fight.
Right.
Per se.
And if you... people out here in YouTube land or Twitter or Twatter or whatever we're on...
The internet.
Not very cool yet.
The interwebs. The interwebs.
The interwebs.
Whoever's listening.
On the interwebs, basically, we were asked by Black to get back a letter that we don't know if it's counterfeit or if it's real, but he tells us it's counterfeit, proclaiming that the saltpetermen can go after other sources of dun besides his own. So he wants this letter destroyed, brought back to him. He wants it basically in his hands. We don't know what he's going to do with it. But it's supposed to be a writ from the Baroness herself.
That's right.
So our whole reason to go there is because he tells us he knows what the reek is. And since our whole, literal mission from, what's his name? Hexenstern. Is that, then, we kind of, we're trying to play these people against each other. So we follow them to the saltpetermen. A utter bloodbath ensues.
Mostly sidestep.
I did nothing to help anyone, and that's why I got.
I think everyone there in chaos.
There was a lot of chaos thrown around.
I freed a prisoner.
But you rolled like a 9, so we were all good besides one person. And imagine it, Snake.
What? Color me shocked.
No way, you got corruption.
I tried to minimize the violence, but it just wouldn't listen because the second in command seemed to be the one giving the orders, and they didn't want to go against what he said.
That was a really interesting thing that happened. What was his name?
Adelard?
Was he an Adelard? He was a fat Adelard. That makes total sense.
As most Adelards are stocky people.
Stocky. Corpulent, I believe, is the main...
Husky.
Hey. Whatever.
So you came to the saltpetermen compound where they were processing the night soil and creating the gunpowder.
Right.
And the...
so we basically let the chaos ensue, and we... Dog is going nuts. We basically let the chaos ensue, and then we take advantage of that and start searching the buildings.
That's right.
Terwin did for some... He really tried to help these people, but they were not
Don't knock
listening.
down that cauldron!
What's a great idea? Chopping down a giant cauldron and spilling burning piss and shit on yourself. Awesome idea,
Everywhere.
guys. Or whatever they're putting in those giant
I
pots.
tried to save the people.
You did.
Yeah.
So slaughter ensues. We search. We do find these random people that have been captured.
Yeah.
But we use that as a way of saying, hey,
Adelard.
Adelard told us to search for something. So they're like, yeah, go get it. So we run in, we steal the paper, the alarm starts sounding, and we leave before before
See ya.
we leave before the soldiers get there. Yep. Real heroic.
Yeah. We're heroes, people.
You did the right thing.
Yeah, we got the job done.
We were sent to do a job, and that's what we did.
We're the good guys, guys. Yep. We're the good guys.
So from without going too much further, so who do you think was in the right and the wrong in this situation? Not between you and them, but between the saltpetermen and the 13.
Your floor.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think the 13 were in the right because the saltpetermen were taking hostages. And that just strikes me as bad in most circumstances.
I also think that the 13 were in the wrong and that they were boiling themselves.
That's one way of putting it. But I mean from a philosophical standpoint.
I don't know. The 13 did just walk in there and murder people. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to knock them out.
Yeah, but
we're going to take them.
They were provoked.
We're going to subdue them. It was just fucking.
They were provoked, though.
Do we actually know
people
enough
there-
to make a true judgment?
You can always make a judgment.
Yeah.
It's a judgment.
It's a judgment.
Yeah, so
I guess that's more of a
you're
perception in
saying
my
that-
mind. A judgment.
I'm saying that they
based on
kidnapped
facts.
people,
Right.
and then their retaliation, maybe justified but a little overblown.
Just like Terran was justified in killing that person who was enslaving children.
Right.
Yeah, even though already had him
Subdued
and all that. Yeah.
He did tell you, "I'll be out in a day." I'll be out in a day.
As the progenitor,
Probably
Not anymore.
as the progenitor of the family, the person who played the first Forester said, "Yeah, you never want to tell a Forester. What are you going to do about it?"
Yeah.
So that all occurs in the saltpeterman compound.
Yeah.
The prophet and his right-hand man lead basically a slaughter of the saltpetermen outside of Riverside
Right.
in the middle of the night, and you all abscond away with the letter.
Yeah. And the brigandine are called, but we never see them. We
We hear a clanging of the bell because someone had made it up there and immediately chopped down, which Warren feels a little bit bad about because he probably could have saved the person, but he felt more pressing
Left them
matters.
to die.
And
I have no
it weighed on his
remorse
conscience
towards anyone in that situation.
towards his chaos alignment. It's the thing he thinks about at night when he goes to sleep.
You're gonna think about that lady,
Mm-hmm.
the bald, hairless woman, clinging for her life.
She was, and he let her die.
What
So,
have I become?
We saved those three.
At what cost?
Yay, we're heroes.
So you get the letter, and then what happens after that?
So we get the letter, and we go back. We go back.
Mr. Black.
Take a quick break for sleep, and then we end up heading out to the Night Zoo Collective and Mr. Black again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he is very gracious that we have accomplished this, but he gives us. He doesn't really give us any information.
No, he says go talk to
Johnny Sparrow.
And then at some point we went back to.
Oh, hold on, we're not done.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So
I excuse myself at this point, so probably somebody
and
else
so
should
did
finish
Harper, and so did Internal Affairs. Elisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Because he basically said, if you're not going to drink with me, get out of my house.
You were like, you were out.
Yeah. So
I had a
they-
bad taste.
Bottoms up.
It wasn't
Deuces.
the booze.
Terran
So,
Terran played upon that to negotiate either getting paid for it as well as hazard pay, or what he really wanted, which was to have someone as a friend.
so we're owed a favor, basically.
This is contact.
At least that's what he thinks. That's what Terran thinks.
So mechanically, you earned a primary contact,
Yeah.
and Walter, you weren't here, but you need to increase your reputation to 2.
Yes, sure.
So we did earn a reputation point. I don't know if it's a good one.
So we start the following day. We'll assume it's the following day. It's 2 days since the raid on the compound. How's your crop year looking now? You're about 5 days out.
6 days out.
Oh, 2 days since the raid on the compound?
Yep.
Oh man, I didn't track either of them.
Yeah, that's right. We brought the.
When did you get the crop deer? During the attack on the ship?
Very first night.
Very first night.
Very first night. Okay, so that's 7 days.
7 days.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Been in the city all 7 days.
I've only got 10 days to go. Yeah, we rolled really high on that.
The smell of the reek is still horrid. You awaken and kind of stumble out of the cloakroom sometime in early morning, and there's quite a bit of traffic in Messiah Square. People moving about. Of course, their faces are covered from the smell. It's a very, very cold autumn day. The wind, you're going to bristle against it. You suspect that a storm is probably coming today. Were you to hazard a guess?
Everyone takes his morning dosage and he gains 1 corruption. Oh, he does that too.
I'll ask Warren to administer the eye drops.
Okay. Go down to the whale. Do I need to roll for that?
You do. It is a routine heal test
Routine heal.
to treat the reek stink.
64% chance to succeed. I'm gonna reroll.
Take the misfortune point. Thank you. Already in the beginning of the night, I'll take it.
Yeah, first roll.
I think it's worth it.
I mean,
He is dribbling the dwale into your eyes and pouring other unguents around it. He is clearing out the mucus and buildup from within your eyes.
And all of a sudden, he touches his own eye.
Success.
I now have cucumbers on my eyes, and I'm just realizing.
You think you
So
could
today you can ignore the effects of it.
Right.
take a look at these marks here?
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty cut up.
Yeah.
He's treating him in the street.
Yeah, I guess so. If we've already left.
What's your damage condition track?
When did we? Okay. It's moderately wounded.
Okay, so it's standard attack.
Okay. Standard test, 54% chance to succeed. And I rolled a success.
Cool.
Up one step. So it is early morning. You've already broken your fast. You've already gathered your things. You've left the cloakroom, and now you're in Messiah Square.
Do we go back up, or are we still in
You remain imperiled.
Okay, so it's just quick.
You were still troubled by
We have bridges
the
over
evening a
trouble.
few nights before. None of you have been sleeping all that well. In truth, ever since Penumbra, you've all been troubled, having troubling dreams. And the events of the past week have come at such a fast and steady clip, you haven't had an opportunity to breathe yet. It appears your job here is only just starting.
So who's it we're supposed to talk to?
I believe the man's name was Johnny Sparrow.
Johnny Sparrow.
We find him, we get him drunk. Apparently he's not one to keep his mouth shut.
So does he have a watering hole he frequents?
And I believe he mentioned one, I just can't remember off the top of my head.
He did mention it.
Is it called the Cannonball?
It is. But it's nowhere around here. It's actually back at Founders Square.
Yay, Founders Square. I like that place.
Well, I'd rather spend my time there. Is there anything that we need to do here before we go to Founders Square?
Well, not going to take too long. I guess we got some time to kill more than anything else. Because not many people's going to be drinking this time in the morning. Unless they're really an alcoholic.
What's that?
Well, you know, someone who drinks in the daytime.
Oh.
Regularly.
Oh.
Oh, we do.
I mean, I will, but I don't have the funding to do that every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just call them drunks.
Drunks.
Yeah.
True drunk.
Okay, well, then, did you have any idea of something you wanted to do while we wait?
Well, figured we could purchase some few things to eat for tonight. Get a good meal in our stomachs for once. This
Well, that's tonight.
right.
Yeah.
But you buy the ingredients now.
What?
You want to cook?
Yeah.
Are we... We're not going on the road. We're not...
We're not, but you and everyone else around here ain't looking so good. You need a decent meal in your bellies.
Oh. Is that from... You think that'll help us with his eye?
Oh, certainly.
I mean, I ain't gonna turn down.
Keep your
eye
finger
something.
out of your eye.
Oh, it was the other eye that's infected.
I don't care. Keep your finger out of your eye.
Well, I suppose we could hit a market.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that I should add to the itinerary?
Why don't we go check out this cannonball place so we can... This is going to sound odd, but maybe we can make a plan this time to actually, to not cause an insane amount of chaos and have the brigandine called, have the 13 blow things up. It could be just a small thing, like, maybe just seeing the layout of the bar, seeing the layout of this place. Maybe this Johnny keeps there, and we can truly get him drunk and get him talking all day.
Yeah, I don't think though that we so much chaos just talking to somebody and buying them drinks. I mean, it's not like we're gonna make it rain like me lords do.
Yes, we were just supposed to be lighting lights.
Oh,
We were just supposed to be watching the 13. We were just supposed to be doing a lot, but
Are you implicating that I have a propensity to mayhem? And those company not excluded around me as well. Because I
Yes.
take umbrage at such a thing.
you. Well, I don't. Yes. This group seems to cause, as your colloquial term will say, mayhem. I guess
We are victims of circumstance, to be sure.
well, he said.
If that is your impression, then I guess we. Where would we cook such this? Where would you cook? Stove, even campfire.
Common room of an inn? I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Well,
What, you can't cook food in an inn?
That's like going up to a minstrel and saying, "Hey, can I play a song on your lute?"
Like, have you ever? Yes. I mean, I do know.
That's how I always did it back home. I figured it was okay around here.
It is not. In fact, it's very frowned on, because if you're cooking your food, it means you're not buying the establishment's food. Vis-a-vis, unless you're feeding everybody in the room and the proprietor, it's going to be frowned upon.
Here's one way I bet you could go about it. We could go and make a plan by finding out what they're serving that evening. And
Who the fuck cares about all this shite?
That's where I'm going with this. I'm glad somebody else is on my side. Let's just go find this Johnny Applecakes, or whatever you Black called him, at the cannonball, and let's figure out what this reek is, because I am past the point of smelling this.
to the cannonball.
Right. It won't hurt to
Anybody?
ask around. Maybe get an idea of this man's character.
And next time we have a break or we're on the road and there's a campfire, I will graciously buy the supplies for you to cook for us.
So, passing through Basiah Square and heading back toward Riverside, The first thing that you note is that Riverside is... The streets are mostly empty. In fact, as you begin to cross this kind of bridge across this branch of the Bastards River, you realize Brigandine is like at the opposite end. And there's a line of people kind of being a queue forming as they kind of lower their pikes to keep others from crossing, as they're clearly interrogating folks who are entering Riverside. This is even before getting to Foundry Square. You can smell the sulfurous outputs of the foundries, the manufactories that are across the river near Foundry Square. You can see this kind of a low, dingy haze of black smoke. Even now, the soot that is on your hands and faces, or in your clothes rather, still stains your clothes from a few nights before. The blood has fortunately dried, but the soot and the smoke is kind of clings to your clothes.
You know, call me a superstitious lot, but I'll bet these fellows are here to see you.
Well, boss.
You see Sir Leland at the vanguard of these people as they are making inquiry. The people who are crossing the bridge are mostly locals or traders. You doubt any of these people are crossing the bridge to go work at Riverside for the day. But you can see the slaughtermen across the bridge going about their daily business. But there is a kind of tense air that lingers. You come to the front of the queue. Brigandine soldiers dressed in their tight black and buffed mail with little iron knobs kind of running from top to bottom, almost like a tank tread, as you could say. They kind of with bucket helmets. They stop you and they inquire. You don't look like you're from Foundry Square. What are you doing here? What business have you in Foundry Square?
Are they looking at me directly?
They're looking at all of you. They're asking all of you.
Boss, we're supposed to go to the Cannonball.
Yeah, we're going to the Cannonball to get something to eat.
Not with that, you're not. He looks to your side, pointing to your sword.
I carry this every day. I've come in here with a sword just the other day.
Things change. He looks over his shoulder. People are scared. Sir Leland said nobody's coming in with weapons. But enough trouble from the 13 alone. Surely you heard about what happened.
While he's talking, I walk away and I start walking towards Sir Leland.
Sir Leland he's got the big, thick cop stash. He's got his thumb in his belt. He's kind of watching all of this. As you approach, he kind of takes a stance like such, his thumb kind of looped in the belt. Touches his belly. Yes, how can I help you?
We was wanting to come in and go to the Cannonball and have some bite to eat. But he seemed to have a problem with me wearing this. And you and I have already talked. I've promised you nothing's going to happen with this. We've got that understanding, but I can't necessarily let this heirloom off of my waist. It was my grandfather's.
Things change. Surely you heard about what happened a few nights ago.
Yeah.
People are scared. Told you. The locals come first. Carrying around a weapon of war at your waist isn't going to win any friends. More importantly, it could cause more trouble than simply going and having a drink at the Cannonball. I'm afraid you have to leave your weapons with us.
Nah, not happening.
Guess you're not going to Riverside then. Be on your way. He begins to walk over toward the other soldiers.
Well, looks like you lot is in for this. I'll go find something else to do for the day.
No. That's not the way this is going to go down. Figure something else out.
It's got to be a ship that just goes across the Bastard that isn't patrolled.
No. You know what's going to happen if I sneak in here? they're gonna run across someone from Brigandine. I'm sure they're out in force, and they're gonna say, "Hey, what are you doing here with a sword like that?" And then they're gonna bring me in, because I'm not gonna give it to them, because it's a fucking heirloom, and I'm gonna get word right back to Leland, and he's gonna know I snuck in. That's the way it works. So I'm going to see what I can do. You four are going to go on without me. You're perfectly capable, and you're going to talk. And you're going to talk to this Jonas Sparrow, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone calls him Johnny.
So who amongst you four is feeling the most decisive?
Well, I always seem to know what to do, so I think I should. I can be in charge. I've done my share of leading around.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I was kind of hoping another soldier would.
He's
Yeah.
speaking about this one, man.
I mean, I can try to keep him in line, but
Speak plainly, then. If you don't want me to, I get it.
I would need a lasso. Or a sheepdog or something. Keep him corralled.
Nah. You know what? Every man deserves a chance to prove himself. Yeah, you do it. You're
Appreciate it.
Hurlstetter, you approach the line.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for a weapon?
I have a bullwhip and a hunting bow.
Mm-mm.
What?
Hand them over.
Both of them?
What are you using that bullwhip for? Are you a herder? Are you a hunter?
I have been in my time, yeah.
All right, no bulls here to bullwhip. There ain't no animals here to hunt, so hand them over.
Well, I can come back for them later when I leave.
Sure. Just leave your name with me. I'll put you on the ledger.
Same place, same time, or same place?
We'll be here all night.
All right, then.
Perhaps you can inquire with their boss, some papers or such. I tell them just to leave us alone and let us keep our weapons. I don't know.
I'll go do that. Yeah.
Let's just... I'm playing nice and just gonna hand them over. I'll come back for it later.
I mean, I'm not carrying anything anyway.
No, they could take my shield. They could take my spear, but I ain't giving up my soul. That's all there is to it.
What of yourself, Alistair?
I have holdout, so I'm gonna hide my my fist weapons and give up my knife.
Okay. What kind of knife is it?
It's a stiletto.
Okay. He looks at it. All right.
Here you go.
Oh, is it Sir Leland?
It was not. No, just a pair of Burgundian soldiers.
I was really hoping.
I have, this bow. I mean, it's pretty obvious it's slung over my back. You have a receipt that I will be able to take with me, or is it just your word and that book?
Just your name in this book here should be fine.
How about this? I hold up a shilling. This coin's got your name on it if we get everything back.
I was gonna give it back to you regardless. What do you?
We just want insurance. We're particularly lacking our things the way they is.
Are you trying to bribe an officer in Riverside?
You know what? I take back everything I said. I apologize.
All right.
Go ahead and roll a bargain test. This test will be easy.
Okay.
I was wondering what it is.
56% chance to succeed, and I succeeded.
Just trying to pay him extra for a job well done.
He leans in and he says, "Look, you know what? Looks like you all trying to get some things done. If you've got, say, 12 showings, I can just let you pass as is." Sir Leland's out of earshot.
I chuckle and just shake my head.
Well, as
We
I
don't
was
want to be
saying,
inviting any trouble. We know you got this checkpoint, and if anyone sees us in there, we don't want you having to explain it to you.
All right, well, I'll take the shilling anyway. He takes it.
Okay.
Just know the offer's on the table.
Understood.
So, bow and quiver and what's your name?
Banneker Steeples II.
Okay.
That is B-A-N.
You just sign your name here, if he says. He turns it around.
So how will, if you don't know how to...
So you can point out your name and tell us what you had, and we'll know.
Well, do I need to hand over the cudgel? And
unless you have a weapon that is literally a tool to be used in the Founders Square.
Yeah, it's a cudgel.
Such as a
beating
hammer
hides.
or beating heads.
Hides.
Yeah, we're gonna beat some ass.
Tan your hide.
No, tanning hides, man.
Unless you have an improvised weapon, improvised hand weapon,
No, I don't.
it'll be taken. Improvised throwing weapon or improvised hand weapon, it'll be taken. Unless you wish to hold out.
No.
Okay.
And a bullet.
Okay. All right.
Y'all are a bunch of whip having mofos.
And yourself?
I'm not carrying anything. It's all on Matthew.
Okay.
Matthew's stable.
That's right. Okay. Leaving Terwin behind, you feel the absence of your leaders. You all gain 2 corruption.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Could you hand me the red bears, please?
Oh, red bear.
Thank you. So,
Cinnamon bear.
you get into Founders Square, and it's clear that there is work to be had here. There is sound of people moving back and forth, talking among the other workers here. The air is filled with soot and smoke. The factories and the foundries are buzzing with activity. You can hear the sounds of bellows nearby as flames spurt out this kind of cavernous looking mouth where these hot coals are burning, and all manner of industry is happening here in Foundry Square. You see that there are quite a few brigandine soldiers in the street. Nary a single agitator to be found. No men standing upon gunpowder barrels with a torch preaching about the 13. You can see there nearby there's a bonfire where you can see they're tossing a number of pamphlets in. You can see not far from there are 3 citizens who have been manacled or facing a stone wall as they're being lorded over by some of the brigandine. And you can see another pair of brigandine actually breaking down a door of a nearby house and rushing inside. It's clear that their martial law is being applied with great rigor in Founders Square.
No way, Sir Leland's a bastard? We would have never guessed that.
What?
Look at all these brigandines. Feel pretty safe, don't you?
You see a group of what you would guess would be the saltpetermen, because they wear the up on their lapels, they wear the kind of a rough looking symbol of the Genevieve, the owl with the sheaves of wheat. They are moving amid the crowds, and they are accompanied by one brigandine soldier, a group of saltpetermen, as they are kind of wheeling upon like the back of a large 4-wheeled wagon drawn by oxen. This large kind of beaten copper cauldron that's clearly empty, but it's kind of strapped down with ropes.
Do we recognize any of these people from the previous night?
It was dark.
Did you look at any of them?
Yeah.
It was dark. There's a lot of smoke. You didn't recognize any faces that night, save for the prophets.
Okay.
The prophet's face, in fact, is kind of burned into your mind. The man, very small and slight, his whole head was burnt completely. His eye had been burnt over with skin. Only one eye was showing, and he wore that long kind of yellow and black checkered bandana.
Yeah, like Pizza the Hut. Or soup.
The soup.
Stained.
But the image of the prophet and his burning wooden sword is the only 2 things that you can recall from that night. There are no faces to be seen. You were not concerned with the saltpetermen. You were more concerned with your own things.
I was just worried that they may recognize us.
No, it was dark out. But if you wish to attempt to hide who you are, you can certainly do that. For fear of being recognized.
I'm certainly not going to bandy words with him or cross paths, so to speak, but I'm not going to try to hide, per se.
You're trying to keep a low profile.
Yeah.
Do you encourage the others to do the same?
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of time before it's evening. Suppose we can twiddle our thumbs, or if you got the stomach for it. Looking at Banneker, hard day's work would never hurt anyone. We could offer up our services to anyone that would take it. Keep a low profile and get through the day.
No. Oh, I'll do the one thing.
Sure.
Try to stay low profile, but these hands were not meant for working.
So you want to just kind of mill about in Founders Square for a bit until sundown? Is that what you're intending to do?
I'm gonna work for someone if they, like anyone that's needing labor help or whatever. Just keep my hands busy.
What about the rest of the three of you?
I would want to keep my ear to the ground, see what I can hear.
Okay.
Know what's going on? Like,
Dropping some eaves, sir.
well, yeah, we're just chatting around with people.
Okay, fair enough. What of yourself?
I'm gonna go to the cannonball.
Okay, and as you, Alistair?
I'll go with him.
Okay.
He's worried about that.
So Alistair and Banneker will go to the cannonball. You will find your way there. But we're going to turn back actually to Terwin. Terwin, you're on the opposite side of the bridge. You're heading back to Messiah Square, where the sound of the people kind of open up a bit more lively. Apparently, it is the Bard's day off, though. Fortunately, so you can't hear the whining of their strings, the jongleurs in the streets. But there's still people filtering about. But people still wear mufflers or whatever it may be over their faces to keep the reek from getting them sick or stinging their eyes. A lot of people here have deep circles and kind of red running mucus, though, in the corners of their eyes, if they've been afflicted by the reek and its stench.
Well, Terwin's gonna see if he can make his way to the first officer that we came across who I never did write his name down.
Yeah, there is a brigandine station in Messiah Square. That's where you wish to head.
Yeah.
A formidable stone squat tower kind of watches over all of Messiah Square, where you can see the market is now open. Whereas if you were right, that's right.
Lieutenant Reich.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
He's a tough soldier.
Yeah.
You approach the watch station, and the local constabulary will show you to Lieutenant Reich, who is actually standing on top of the tower. You join him and a few others. Mr. Forrester, he says.
Just a moment. I'm making a note here so
Sure.
I don't have
No worries.
to. Okay.
Mr. Forrester, a pleasure.
Lieutenant Reich, how does this day find you?
Fair enough. I'm afraid, though, that the reek has made its mark as he rubs his eyes. I've got the reek stench, I think.
You know, I have
The reek stink.
a fellow who can look at that for you, if you'd like.
We've got Dr. Drake.
Ah,
But
well, as long as you don't go to one of his assistants, you'll be all right.
what brings you here?
Well, my purpose is twofold. You know, I was thinking, there was a woman that was brought here a while back. She was the one who was taking care of those children that we found were being,
Oh, the child killer. Oh, yeah.
yes.
What about her?
Well, I wanted to get about to asking her a few questions, but, I understand the position you were in, with the crowd being out there and with her doing such terrible wrongs and all, but, I just wanted to know if perhaps she had said anything at all about her relations with those men who were taking the children. If you were able to glean any information from that, because it appeared that they had a bit of an understanding amongst themselves.
He narrows his eyes for a moment, thinks about this. Go ahead and make a bargain test.
Okay.
Or charm, whichever you wish. It's going to be... Are you order or chaos aligned?
Probably chaos still. Yeah, I'm chaos aligned.
Challenging.
Challenging, okay. We'll do charm. I'm feeling friendly enough, but it'll be a 28. 51, that won't work.
You want to roll?
No, not at a 28.
You're a bit too familiar, Mr. Forrester. I can tell you that she was dispatched quickly and without pain.
No, there's that at least. Forgive me. Well, the reason I had asked was simply because we came across a man that was quite vicious afterwards. He was picked by the name of Jerusa, if you recall, when we spoke last time.
Aye?
We haven't been able to find him.
Durandal's a very large city.
It is.
Many places for people to hide.
It is, but he's a rather, he's got a unique appearance to him for your average citizen here in Durandal.
Tell me, Mr. Forrester, do you have a bounty hunter's license?
No, but I do have this, and that's what it is. Now, I understand in different places it's recognized differently.
Bring him in, we'll give you 5 crowns.
Very well. That was going to be something I was going to ask if you'd heard anything else to know about him or his whereabouts.
He's tied to Mother Helen. He is an accomplice in these vicious crimes, and likely she is a procurer, and he's a procurer of the worst sort. But that would be it. We don't have the time or manpower to dedicate to it, but I tell you what, you bring him in, we'll give you 5 crowns. I know the Baroness will certainly appreciate it. She does care for all the little children of Durandal.
Right. And on that note, with the Baroness, we were hired by her to do things for her.
The Baroness hired you, he says kind of quizzically.
Through proxy, yeah. We're having a little bit of trouble being able to get things done because we're having a little bit of trouble with one of your men.
One of my men, he says, here beside Square?
No, I'm assuming that you're one of the top officials in the brigandine.
I'm a constable, he says.
Well, running into a bit of trouble with Sir Leland.
Oh, the man has his spurs.
Yeah,
he simply states flatly.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with him. It's just that I don't think he recognizes the what was the Adam's having trouble thinking of the word.
Authority?
Yeah. I think he's having a bit of a problem recognizing the authority given by the king for, the Frayne agency.
He nods as I see.
So...
How can I counsel you?
Well, I was wondering if you could maybe, tell him to ease up a bit on us so we can do our jobs.
That's between you and Sir Leland, he says. Sir Leland has his spurs. Not only that, he's the constable of Founders Square.
Okay, so he's not, he's more of a, man, I'm having
equal?
so many troubles with words right
Temporary.
now.
Peer.
He's one of your peers then.
Well, he is literally a peer. He's a knight. He has his spurs. May I remind you that he has his spurs and he serves the king directly.
You think he would understand what this writ does, huh?
Maybe he doesn't respect your authority.
That's obvious. Well,
you are west of the river, he says kind of plainly. I mean no offense by any means.
None taken, really.
Sir Leland is authoritarian, he says, as he kind of leans in. He's a hard man, but he cares deeply and fiercely about his people. Founders Square is People who live there live a hard life. Dangerous conditions.
Yeah.
Bad conditions. Working in gunpowder factories for nearly 3 years, and you can only imagine the number of accidents and the deaths that come out of the people who work there. He's simply not only doing his job what he feels best for the people. He's always been this way since he retired here.
I was just trying to convince him that I'm trying to help.
Well, I'm afraid I can't, Mr. Forster. I'm afraid I can't do much about that.
Okay. Well,
He does have his spurs.
forgive me for my misunderstanding then. And
Oh no, forgiveness in at all. You were clearly from outside Durendal. I'm here to help, even if you're not a citizen of the city.
very well. And then he'll kind of make a little bit more small talk, and then like maybe wander down to see. I need to start writing even more names down. What's the lady that we got the medicine
Endora?
from? Endora.
So you don't know the city very well. So
okay.
you'll have you can go there.
No, he's just basically trying to kill time
Okay.
at this point, and then he'll wait at the cloakroom.
Sure. So back to Founders Square, the hub of activity in Riverside. It's very busy here today. You were just outside of Harper specifically. You were just outside of one of the nearby foundries and stopped to talk with a local blacksmith. You share some small talk. Go ahead and roll a rumor test. Or you order a chaos alignment?
I am order.
Okay, your test will be routine.
Yeah, it's room order. Routine. Alright, it'd be 63. And I rolled a 53. Success.
He proceeds to tell you that obviously something went down a few nights ago, and people aren't talking too much about it, but people seem to suspect that 13 is somewhere at the center of it. They said that the Brigandine is actually on the hunt for the Prophet, and the rest of 13 can't seem to find them. He says.
That's very odd. I mean, I'm not, from around here, but, I mean, the little time I spent, they've been up on them barrels preaching, but I didn't think they were going to do much more than that, but that's a shame.
Well, truth be told, as he says, that I think a lot of people believe in the message of the 13. They understand that the conditions we work in are tough. He's kind of being careful, kind of leaning in a little bit to ensure he's not being overheard. Frankly, between you and me, I think the Prophet of the 13's got the right of it.
Well, I mean, everyone deserves to have a safe working environment. I mean, no one wants to go to work and make a wage in a dangerous occupation, knowing that maybe their last day of work could be any day of work. I mean, maybe a soldier, but they know what they signed in for. But, it's just never good when folk die or get killed.
He nods. You continue making a little bit of small talk along the way, but we'll turn back to you. Excuse me, Warren. What were you going to do, Warren?
I was going to lie low and do some day laboring, basically.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll a toughness test.
Okay.
Your test will be challenging.
All right, so that
Your
makes
degree of
it...
success will reflect the number of brass pennies you earned today.
Okay, so that's a 51% chance to succeed. And I rolled a 25.
So you get, so success?
Yes.
So 2 plus your bronze bonus.
Okay, bronze bonus is 7.
So you get 9 brass pennies for the day.
All right.
Not a bad day's work. Actually, I'm sorry, you're probably only working half the day, so call it 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll be able to find something to do. A big, strong lad like yourself, big, strong Gralstetter.
Yeah.
They'll give you some hard work. You'll work most of that day, and at the end of it, you'll suffer from 7 physical peril.
Okay. None the worse for wear.
Nice. Meanwhile, at the Cannonball Cannonball. There's not a lot of people inside this place. It's unsurprisingly the Cannonball, or the Cannonball Winehouse, as it is called. There are several bottles sitting outside on a windowsill, and along this kind of long, what do they call that? The board that kind of rocks back and forth. People sit on. It's like in the south. No, it's like a
Mechanical bull.
a what?
Mechanical bull.
No, it's a long bench, and it kind of wobbles back and forth.
Oh,
it's like in southern Missouri.
A glider.
Yeah, whatever it's.
What is that called? Something glider.
It's like a something board. I can't remember. It's like 10 feet long. People sit on it and kind of swing back and forth. There's people on it kind of out front of the Cannonball Tavern, Cannonball Winehouse. And you can tell it's called the Cannonball because there are old rusted cannonballs piled up all around outside, including a defunct cannon that is just kind of resting in front of it. And the Cannonball is indicated on wood, and the Winehouse seem to be added sometime after, scrawled in very fancy letters and hung by two little chains beneath the original signage. You head inside to the Cannonball. It's fairly quiet. I mean, there's not really a lot of people in here at all, save for a few local drunkards, and the proprietor, this woman with a rat's nest of hair and long dark makeup beneath her eyes, and wapishly thin and tattooed almost head to toe. She's attending to those who are still drinking.
You want to drink?
Yep, we might as well do a little bit of that.
I mean, what else are we gonna do?
She'll has a very raspy voice, but you can see as you get a drink for a brass penny, for a tankard of whatever, and you can see that above the mantle there's this painting of her, kind of with her head kind of thrust upward, and she's playing a lute like she's mid string as she introduces herself as Amelia. Perhaps she was some sort of well-known minstrel at some time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the White House, she says, with a voice raspy from years and years of smoking, despite the fact she's probably like 24.
Hard life. Yes. This is a fine establishment. Is this yours?
It is, she says.
Good ho there. Good ho there.
Trying to turn it around. You know, we get locals that come in and out of here, but that's about it.
Well, you know, locals are good souls, you know. But that's not what we're here for. We're just here to have a drink, and we're supposed to meet up with Jonas.
Jonas Sparrow, she says.
Yes. The man told me I could call him Johnny, but I'd rather use the man's Christian name. I'm sorry,
This custodian.
His covenant name.
his covenant name first.
Oh, Jonas Sparrow, he's a lively one, she says.
Well, that's good because, you know, well, my friend Alistair's a lively one too. Anything but normal. Yes. Do you know what time he's usually in? I know he works at the docks and kind of wanders over usually later at night. But...
Well, he was here last night, she says, and goes on to explain that he started running his mouth and blathering about the reek and how no one would believe him if they told him later at night he was in the company of some fair semi and we had to kick him, the whole lot of them out for making a ruckus.
So
Ain't seen him since then.
Jonas was with the fair semi.
He not.
What was he saying about the reek? Well, I'm always interested about the local banter about
I ain't
this.
got time to listen to that horse shit, she says.
Well, you know.
It's clear that she's a girl stutter.
Right. Well, you know, son of a... Well, I'll let her get back to her business. Well, you know, maybe I'll go ask some others.
All right, she says. Enjoy. Let me know if you need a refill.
I'll need many, I hope.
Somebody who knows how to find them.
That's what I'm hoping. What do you
Give them
think?
a couple pennies, they'll probably do it for you.
Okay. I'll hand him over 5 bits. Do you want me to do it? Or... Most people are in...
I don't care. I'll go back and talk to Amelia. I'll finish the drink that I had, like, just quaff it on my way up so that I have to create the pretense of needing to talk to her in the first place. Put the thing on the bar.
She seems pleasant enough. Willing to talk, particularly because there's nobody else here.
Maybe you don't want the company of Sparrow, but you think you could tolerate his patronage for say a shilling your way?
I might be persuaded, she says.
Well, I got the shilling here right now, so are you persuaded?
Look. Martyr's truth, she crosses her fingers, invoking the Night Father for her lie. Or for lying about it before. Jonah's an old smuggler. Worked his way up and down the Bastard's River for years. He's a rough old dog. And frankly, you can't trust him as far as you can throw him. But he knows a lot of folk around here, and, well, people who come to the wine house, they say, Amelia, we're looking for a way to get this way and that. And I tell them, well, you came to the wine house, so you found the right place. So then I introduce him to Jonah, and Jonah does his business. He gives me a cut of his proceeds, and, well, that's the way about it.
Why don't we treat this relationship sort of the same way? And I can throw people pretty fucking far.
She laughs.
So I'll slide across the shilling. You know, I'd be willing to part with another one if somebody would go to the trouble of going and fetching him for us.
Well, I can't send nobody off to fetch him, but I can tell you, see those 2 gong farmers over there? She points toward the nearby the door.
I'll turn
You
around.
see a couple people dicing at this point. They appear to be probably stewards of this place. Hob and Odd, I like to call them, or left and right. Can't tell the two apart. Well, they drug him out of here late last night. Took him back home, I'd imagine. Probably want to get talking with them. Hob, Odd, come here. They kind of stand up from their dice game. Have you seen that movie Tangled? That cartoon about Rapunzel?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look like these kind of large, kind of just sods. They are more meat than brain, more muscle than brain. Barely any hair between the two of them, save for the fact that one of them wears a mustache, the other one wears a Van Dyke, and they look just alike. Where'd you take Sparrow last night? I put him up against the smokehouse. I think he's still out there sleeping it off.
You fellas mind doing a house call for a little bit of pay? Maybe bring him back here to do some business.
Oh, he's dead drunk sleeping it off, the man says. Take you to him, though.
I'd rather do my business with him here, and I wouldn't know what I was looking for. I'd just as likely talk up the wrong drunk.
They look toward Amelia, and Amelia says, go on, drag him back.
I mean, there's a good bit of shine there for you boys. And honestly, I'd gonna rest my feet here and have a couple drinks.
Amelia smiles and pours another mug for you.
Once I see he's making headway, I'll move back. I was trying to move my way through the crowd, but I'm like, oh.
There's hardly any people here in the Cannonball. I should probably say.
That's what I said.
There's like a small group of people here who are local drunkards or people who've just begged enough coin to get a tankard of whatever. There's a surprisingly there's a lacking amount of wine in this place.
For wine sink.
There are a lot. Now there are a lot of wine. There are a lot of like this kind of like wine bottle holders nearby a wall that were recently installed, but nary a bottle to be to be found.
I promised her the money that Warren's going to make today.
So, nothing?
Nothing if you round down, I suppose.
At some point or another, the sun's going to set. And it's autumn, so it sets pretty early. And you find your way to the cannonball, and it's kind of beginning to get busy in here. And you kind of have finished your day's labor, and you're covered in soot and sweat. And he stumbles in and looks like just like any other person in the street. And the place is rather, well...
Starting to liven up a bit.
busy. It's nightfall where you're at as well. You're still at the cloakroom, which is equally busy, but your friends are not here.
Right.
Well, there's a chicken in here.
You guys keep your noses clean, metaphysically or metaphorically speaking, or what have you?
Well, of course, I took a bath last night. I wouldn't get dirty for nothing.
You know what I mean.
I don't know if I rightly do. We've been here as we were instructed to do.
No trouble. That's what I'm getting at.
Ah, no.
Not for
Warren
me.
is actually he is.
You mean Alistair?
Oh, sorry, Alistair.
You got your eyes crossed or something.
He's actually kind of got a silver tongue that you never knew about. The man doesn't say more than 2 words, but when he does put them together, they work really well.
Oh, good to hear.
People often mistake coin for virtue. You can exchange it for it.
Yes, that's a fine way of saying that.
Never would have done such a thing.
I
Was
knew a
held
lot
on to
of
mine so miserly.
virtuous folks back in the day then.
Yes. I will own it all up to my own, like, savvy and guile and hard work, but really what I did was push a coin at someone and told them to do things that I wanted them to do. What the fuck do you know?
They do it?
Eventually, you're joined by the man who, well, he must be Jonah.
How's his sobriety at this point?
It is fair.
Fair.
He's probably a functional alcoholic at this point.
You see a man who he's exceedingly skinny. Very skinny man. And he is wearing these clothes that smell of grog. No surprise there. He has this mouthful of rotting teeth, these thick matted dreadlocks, runny eyeshadow, and his thin beard just reeks of alcohol. And as he comes in, he's kind of irritated, hurling insults and curses at anything that moves. Kind of like Phil Yoder. Hey, fuck you. Fuck you, you son of a bitch. Fuck you, knave. Get out of my fucking way. This is my place, he says. You're sitting in my seat, he says, as he kind of pushes somebody out of the way and yanks the the chair up and sits at the bar. Amelia, I will have precisely 4 pints of whatever that man is having. He points to the end of the bar. Whoever is there.
It doesn't even matter, just a random.
Yeah. Between the 4 of you. How do you do, sir? He says. He kind of takes a long pull from whatever Amelia puts in front of him.
I'm well, and yourself.
A man comes up behind him, almost a large
Johnny.
looming shadow that kind of materializes as muscle and a bristling mustache, and he takes Jonah and turns his head toward Alistair. That one. As I understand it, you call upon me, Jonah Sparrow, and I'm here. I have arrived, he says. You can tell he's already started drinking again. You suspect he's probably pissed himself at least probably many times you'd imagine. He just smells of piss and grog. He smells bad.
I'm gonna slide 5 pennies each to the 2 goons.
You've earned a primary contact. Your primary contact is Amelia Winehouse.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
That could be useful.
That's definitely useful.
How you utilize your reputation points.
Nice.
Talk about that outside the game.
All right, sounds good. All right.
Well, you have got my attention, he says. May I have your acquaintance? May I have your acquaintance? He says.
I'm Krim. Alistair Krim.
We met before?
You have now?
Well, I appreciate that, sir. And he tips his hat, but he has no hat on his head, so he just kind of moves these thick matted dreadlocks out of his face.
Why don't we get you another one of those tankards?
I would greatly appreciate that, sir, he says.
I'll slide some pennies across for everybody.
His eyes are red with the reek stink. Not the only thing that stinks on him, but...
Like I said, I'll pass one across for all these guys again.
Sure.
Thank you kindly.
You have the nod.
Well, Jonas.
Jonah is my name. My mother gave me that name, named after my grandpappy.
Well, we were told to call you Johnny, but I didn't want to use your covenant name or your steward-given name.
Well, some people call me Johnny, but I don't do business with people who call me Johnny, he says.
Well, then,
All right.
Jonas.
Sure it is.
Then Jonah, it is.
Jonah like the sailor, he says, squinting his eyes trying to focus. Jonah Sparrow. Pleased to meet your acquaintance, Mr. High and Mighty. What's your name?
My name is Banneker.
Ah, yeah. You must be from the West. You have a look about you.
That would be correct.
You must have blue blood in there.
That would be also correct.
Hey, I imagine so. Well, pleased to meet your acquaintance, Governor. He will take a slight curtsy and sit back in his chair.
And yours, Jonah?
Just Jonah Sparrow, born and bred on the river.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for some information and some commerce.
I can appreciate commerce, being a man of commerce myself. I ain't much one for information brokering. That's more up the line of Miss Whitehouse. But if you're looking to go somewhere, I can take you where you need to go. Beneath the guise of night or in the broad daylight. Because I know many brigandine who were very friendly to me and my operation here in Durendal. Specifically Riverside, he says.
Excellent.
Proclaiming almost loudly. Like
Just as
almost
loud as
inviting somebody to ask. But you kind of get, as you begin, have you been in here, the Cannonball, for quite some time, you begin to get the feeling that this is a place where likely a local ne'er-do-wells and other rapscallions and rakes probably gather. One could easily suss out this is probably a den of, well, people who just don't really care to, who probably are all lawbreakers of some sort.
Make sure to keep an eye on my purse.
Well, that's excellent because that is exactly what we're looking to do soon. We've also heard, and more than anything, I believe Warren has some. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopper's got some questions, and I look at him and I was like, "Looks like you've been infected too."
Right.
We heard you knew what was going on with this madness.
I don't think we met.
Well, I'm Harper Clavicher.
Well, Knife Finger got my toe. You use a claviger?
Yes, sir.
So you're a knight then, right?
No, I am not myself. I do not have spurs as I click my heels together, but you hear no ring.
We ain't got ruby sippers either, so you clearly ain't teleporting nowhere, so you definitely need a riverman like me. He corrects himself for saying smuggler.
It's a riverman.
Well, it's a pleasure. And I could tell you about the reek stink, but I need another one of those. And I don't drink alone.
Oh, we're up.
All right, yeah. I mean,
I'll order another round.
Is it safe to assume that you all are drinking at this point with him?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I think
You know
I'm
what they
more
say.
sipping to make sure everyone gets out.
I mean, this is not going to go well with my sour stomach, but you know, I'll.
The best drink you can drink is a drink with another friend.
I'd rather drink with this man than Mr. Black.
All right. Well, there are a lot of people kind of filtering in and out. You can listen to a lot of long, rambling stories about how the man is out to get him.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, we need that.
I spent time in the Brigadine Clink, he says, almost 4 times. He holds out 5 fingers. His stories just continue on and on and on, and he is he's not surly. He just makes you really anxious to be around. Like he seems kind of like he's just threatening to like explode,
Fly off the handle.
like fly off the handle. He is just out of control. So some of us around the table can identify somebody who's like that.